In this episode of Up, Up, and Away, we discover the delightfulness of Norway. Fjord cruises, forests, fresh seafood, fortresses and ferries, the Flam Railway, and... Sorry, that's all the alliteration I've got. Just know it was a veritable smorgasbord, although that's actually Swedish and I should have used it a couple of episodes ago, of Norwegian delights.
We began our adventure in the capital city of Norway, Oslo, and what better place to get a bird's eye view than the top of the Oslo Opera House. Here, let's flip around so you can see it from the other side of the bay.
And what better time to arrive in Oslo than during a pride parade?
So we're in Oslo right now, and we're at the Opera House, and they've made the coolest architectural choices. You actually get to walk up part of the roof, which is so cool because it's this awesome slant.
So we're in Oslo, Norway, for those of you keeping track. We're in Aers Fortress, which is a fortress from the 1300s, I believe. And as you can see, thick stone walls. I love old fortresses.
Inside the Aers Fortress was a wealth of furniture, paintings, and other delights detailing the history of Norwegian royalty that lived within these fortress walls.
Here's an interesting fact you may not know. Throughout history, you've seen paintings of great men wearing these long white wigs throughout colonial times. You ever wonder why? It was a fashion statement, but how did it start? It was actually a king who was having too much sex, and they developed syphilis, which was rampant. And one of the biggest symptoms of syphilis was hair loss. So to hide it, they started wearing these extravagant wigs, and everyone saw the royals doing it, so they started to copy them. So any wealthy businessman or anybody in the royal court who had syphilis due to so much sex would wear these wigs. That's why we see them.
Besides wigs, costumes, and paintings, there were also armor and swords to be discovered down winding passageways. But we didn't encounter the ghostly woman who is said to haunt these walls at night. And maybe that's okay.
But there was still much to be discovered. Around every corner was another view or hall that demanded our attention and imagination to picture what life must have been like hundreds of years ago.
And eventually, we descended into the depths, where we would ultimately find the burial place of perhaps some of the royals who were in the paintings we had seen above.
Who doesn't love a good castle courtyard? Let's go right into
The castle grounds were as sprawling as the inside of the castle itself.
This is an amazing sculpture showing somebody coming back from war. In this case, a woman coming back from war, and her face is bandaged. She has gloves on. It represents could be any of us fleeing from war or recovering from war. And this feels like it was made not that long ago.
And it's got a lot of baggage. It's bringing a lot of baggage.
Symbolizing the mental baggage. So even on a rainy Norwegian day, you can find time to sit down, have a glass of the local Pilsner, and some delicious fried fish and shrimp. And it brings warmth to my heart, even though it's cold outside. Now, of course, this is like laughably cold in Norway because it's still like 60
Tell them about the ghosts. Tell them about the ghosts.
And we saw ghosts at a castle. So I need to warm my insides from the fear of the story. Ooh, beer is cold.
But it was time to hop aboard the Flam Railway that would take us to one of Norway's famous fjords. But what we mostly noticed was how beautiful the ride was. The farms we passed even left marshmallows out for the giants of the region. Remember, Norway still believes, correctly might I add, that fairies, giants, and elves roam the countryside. Just kidding, those are probably huge white bales of hay. Or are they? Then it was time to ascend the steepest standard gauge adhesion track in Northern Europe, which means no cables or gears were used for traction, during this 55% grade incline. That's steep. The journey was long enough that we were treated to many different views and even terrains.
So we're on the Flam Railway, on one of the most scenic railways in the world. We stopped for the Kjosfossen waterfall, which is right behind me. And there is an ancient spirit, a Haldar, dancing in the background. We must have hit it perfectly. I'm sure we'll all be dragged to our deaths at any moment, but for the time being, it's glorious. As we rode away from the Huldra and past the falls, our journey to the fjord continued, and we will let you ride with us for a bit in the hopes that you will enjoy the beautiful ride as much as we did.
last, it was finally time to take a boat ride on the Narrowfjord, one of the narrowest fjords in Norway. That's only 500 meters wide in some parts, on a lovely eco-friendly vessel while we munched on some snacks.
So we're here in Flam in Norway.
We just left Flam.
Oh, well, we're in the ports.
Right, we're on this fjord cruise. Into the, I should have probably looked up
We're going to Gudavang.
Where it's going to be about a 2-hour trip. The most exciting thing that's happening right now is that you're getting both of us on camera at the same time.
It's true, but also we're going through the narrowest fjord in the world, which is really exciting to get to be able to do.
So maybe if we stretch our arms out,
We can touch the edges.
both sides.
Or do a Van Damme.
Or do right Van Damme. I'll just do
Stretch our
splits.
legs
I better start stretching. Thanks for joining us. So we're on this fjord tour, and it left from Flam. Flam also apparently has cinnamon buns that are kind of famous. Now I had already sort of sworn off cinnamon buns so I could go back to that last place, but I'm gonna try it anyway. It'll do. It's no Icelandic Reykjavik road cinnamon bun, but it'll do for today.
Catch those amazing waterfalls streaming all that crystal clear water into the fjord. And as our journey continued, we kept finding little seaside towns that appeared almost like magic.
A short detour that we didn't know we were going to be taking on our way back from the fjord tour to the Stalheim Hotel, which is as close to the Overlook Hotel probably as you'll ever get. I don't know why we're not staying here. Why don't you just push past me to show them what we're missing here?
What's this river? What's this video fjord?
At last, we made it to Bergen and its glorious old-school train station.
Bergen is a seaside town with an amazing fish market that we immediately had to visit and sample. Luckily, it was time for lunch. Unluckily, we only have the size tummies we have.
Bergen, Norway, and I've just got some king crab legs, and I just pulled it out. Just for the record, they're delicious.
You just ask for it. You look at it in the thing, and they just put a bunch of things you want on a plate, and they just cook it up and bring it to your table. So good.
It's delicious.
So, Dub, you got the caviar sampler.
Let's move back for a second. Here in the fish market in Bergen, Norway. I decided to spoil myself and try the caviar sampler.
Don't let me
Three different
try
kinds
it.
of caviar here. If you don't know what caviar, they're fish eggs. Yummy, yummy.
I
We have 3 kinds of Nemos here. I don't know what they're called. I'm going to try the one I haven't had before.
What's it taste like?
Delicious.
Is it salty or is it?
It's not as salty as usual. It's actually the lightest caviar I've ever had.
taste the other ones.
Yeah, that was a white. These are the Nemos.
It's classic.
Classic Nemos.
Classic Nemos.
Wow.
You're like the fish at the very beginning that starts off the whole Finding Nemo.
Tastes like the ocean.
And then black caviar is always yummy.
These guys taste like the ocean. This is called Kura.
Yeah, I've had those before and then I throw up.
I love them so much. And the last one is.
Black caviar said it's from this. That's from a sturgeon, I think. Classic.
Well done,
You're
Doug.
delicious.
Good job.
Outstanding.
Thank you, Bergen.
So I guess we've fallen in love with Bergen. Not a bad place, as you can see, and as we can see. Maybe we'll have to do another episode here. Maybe we'll have to do a yearly episode from Bergen. I don't know. And eat some donuts. Donuts with hot chocolate. No, I've already had one.
We'll wait till the cameras are off.
Right.
But there was more to see in Bergen than just seafood. We were going to do our best to see as much of it as possible. From the harbor to the quaint narrow streets, we did our best to get lost in this charming town.
Even when it was raining, we felt like we wanted to live here forever. And our hotel room looked out over the old medieval quarter Bergen, which once the rain had stopped, we immediately went to explore.
But we didn't just want to stay in the city. We had heard amazing things about the Viking stave church, so we had to see it.
So we're here outside of Bergen in Norway by the Fantoft Stave Church, otherwise known as the Viking Church. It looks really good because they moved it here a long time ago, in the early 1900s, I think, and then it burned down in 1999. So this is the new revamped version, but built to spec. So this is what the Viking Church would look like.
The foreboding exterior belies a much lighter interior, showing that you can't judge a church by its cover. We took one last look at the harbor before boarding Bergen's famous funicular and heading up the mountain to get a different view.
As you can see, or might be able to see, we're riding up the funicular, up the side of the hill in Bergen, to get to the top and have a little bite at a restaurant. But in the meantime, enjoy the view. And what a view it was. Truly breathtaking.
So we're in Bergen, Norway, and we've just taken the funicular up to the very top, and now we are in the troll forest, and I need a little sustenance. So it was recommended to me that this is the best brand of ice cream, so we're gonna try it.
Careful, if you don't eat it quickly, trolls will come.
The trolls to get me. That'd be worth it. That'd be delicious.
You got eaten by a troll, as long as you have this ice cream.
Then it was back down to Bergen to visit the Rosencrans Tower, where we couldn't get enough of the carved stone heads.
Renaissance Tower. Careful on the end of the steps. Come to the Rosencrans Tower. It's an old Renaissance tower. Bergen.
So interesting.
Yeah, because this is one big block.
Yeah, we just did this.
Mommy,
and it
look
looks like
at
they have
the
this
floor.
coming out.
Mommy, look at the floor. Wow.
Okay, guys.
Whew. I thought this tower was never gonna end. There are a million floors in there. Thanks for joining us at Rosencrans Tower in Bergen. And thanks for joining us on Up, Up, and Away.